Hi there, my name's Anna. Welcome back to my art channel. So for today I decided on a very simple botanical painting of two leaves, and I'm using my long neglected acrylic paints for this. And I'm starting off with the background. It's just a pale bluish grey, and I'm just colouring in the background, blending everything out, making sure it's not entirely the same colour everywhere to add a little bit of interest. And I'm making sure to colour the sides of the canvas as well, so that I can hang it if I want to without using a frame. So now I'm putting down the base layer of green. It's just some sap green, and I'm going to go over it several times to tone down the colour. And here I'm adding some details to the leaf. The leaf is kind of a pale green with some dark markings. And I'm using some yellow and white added in between for the light portion to lighten it up a bit. And here I'm painting the bottom side of the leaf, which is a lot lighter. I'm using a lot of white and yellow, and then at the bottom it has a bit of a red colour, reddish brown. Now I'm blocking in the second leaf, and you can see sap green is actually a very translucent colour. So while I've been going to be going over it several times anyway, I can't leave it as it is in any case. But this colour is more useful for glazing really, or you have to add in other colours to make it a bit more opaque, such as white for example. And yeah, generally I'm using dark blue and black and maybe a bit of brown to darken the green. And to lighten it, I'm using yellow and white. And yeah, you probably won't see any pure sap green in the end, because also the colour is a little bit too intense for real nature. And I'm going over what I have painted several times, sometimes just to add to it, and sometimes I'm just not entirely happy with how certain areas of the painting have turned out, certain shades, and I'm just going over it again. And the more you layer, really, the more you add to the painting, normally speaking. And because the paint is always a little translucent, it kind of adds dimension when you layer on top. Now I'm adding some markings of the second leaf, jumping back to the first one, always jumping back and forward. And the lovely thing about acrylic paint is that you can blend it very nicely if you're quick. That is, acrylic paint dries very fast, but you can get nice smooth gradations if you're fast enough. Adding some more green to the second leaf and kind of shaping it and indicating the veins of the leaf. And I'm using a very small brush currently. Going back to the larger brush. My large brush is actually very nice. It was a very cheap one, just synthetic hair, and it has a relatively fine, or it goes ends in a relatively fine point, so you can actually add some detail. I could have probably painted the entire painting with just this brush, but I did feel like the smaller brush gave me some more control for some of the areas. But the big one is nice for blending. Here I'm just lightening up that green with some yellow and white, and also changing the tint of it. Adding in the middle vein of the leaf, trying to add a bit of highlight there. And just keep forming the painting slowly and layering and changing the areas I've already painted. Just always looking back at my reference photo, what I'm seeing, and checking if I have replicated it or not. The little red portion at the bottom of the left leaf, I have added some actual red paint, so that it looks less brown and more red. With acrylic paint, I use a lot more black than I would with watercolor. Watercolor, usually I'll mix a dark color. This doesn't work as well with acrylic, and I find there's no problem in using actual black mixed in with other colors. It also saves a lot of time. Get a nice rich dark color. saw those markings, and yeah, with the light green in the background, it gives a nice contrast, the base color of the leaf. Out the outside of the leaf here is a little darker than the inside. I'm just kind of blending the darker green into the lighter green. It's a very simple reference really, especially if you're working with acrylic paint. With watercolor now and all of those markings, it would be difficult to kind of work around the different areas that are different colors if you're not going to, well, I guess it wouldn't be that much of an issue if you just put down the lighter green first and then the darker green. But if you wanted to paint around it, it would be more of an issue. With acrylic paint you can, well, it's opaque, so you can layer on top and it doesn't really matter. You can always correct something, put some white on and put new paint on top. I don't know, it's just a bit more relaxing, I guess, with acrylic paint, because you know you can correct everything. With watercolor, you cannot. Lightening up the light portions of the leaf even more. Darkening up the dark portions. Of it, I'll link the reference photo down below, and you're welcome to paint along with me if you want to. Like I said, it's a simple painting and you can just keep adding to it and keep tweaking it, or leave it as it turns out in the first go. Then you would be a lot quicker than me. You're enjoying this video, by the way, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up and possibly subscribe for more similar videos, and let me know what you think of it in the comments below, and if you've painted along, I'd be delighted to hear about it. So I'll let you enjoy the last little bit of the painting. I'm nearly finished at this point, and yeah, I hope to see you again soon in one of my next videos. Take care, bye bye.